We are living in a very unique timeline, a unique timeline that it's accelerating so fast that all the previous timelines, which are our habitual patterns, which are what we are familiarized with, which are our conditionings and beliefs, they're constantly dropping, they're constantly losing their power, they're constantly failing. This, we are very clear of it because we are seeing that the old ways are not working anymore. They are failing. The old ways are failing. What we are familiar with is losing its strength. It can be experienced within yourself as you are losing your identity. You're losing yourself. Because these timelines are losing and everything is falling onto one timeline. The timeline of the now. The timeline of the heart. The timeline of oneness, love, fifth dimensional frequencies we are speaking of. So we might also be aware that here is a wave on this planet, a wave of chaos. Yeah? The wave of chaos has a purpose. The wave is what is shaking the old structures, the old beliefs, the deep conditionings that humanity has lived in for many years. So have a look at yourself every time you have a transformational moment. Do you experience a shake-up before? Yes, every time. Same is happening on a collective consciousness on this planet. Requires a shake-up. That shake-up is being revealed to us as chaos. But underneath that chaos is a higher vibration that is breaking through. Just like is happening within us. Every time we experience some parts of us losing, in that instant we are gifted with a higher frequency, with a higher consciousness, with a deeper connection to your higher self. Closer to your heart, more and more and more. So the heart this space within the heart is where you navigate into connecting closer and closer to your higher self. Yeah, the path of self-realization. What is the path of self-realization? Navigating within you beyond these veils, one by one, finding way how you can connect with a deeper you. Bit by bit, you get closer and closer and closer, wiser and wiser and wiser, more loving, more open, yeah, more intelligence, closer and closer, by dedicating, to know yourself, by dedicating to weave through the veils of conditionings and beliefs. So this goes on all levels of consciousness. Wherever you are at, it touches where you are at, because it actually works the same on all states of consciousness. Every time you shift to a higher consciousness, which is a closer version of yourself, every time you become more wise, you become more clear, you become more close to a higher you. Yeah, so it's not something out there, but it's all here until everything dissolves into your true self. And the closer you become to that, the more you are in the now of existence, in the now of life. So that's also a misconception when we kind of believe somehow that if you're fully conscious, you can't live in this life, you can't act in this life, you can't function. Yeah? It is not real, it's not true. Because when you become closer and closer, more connected with your heart, through all these states of your hearts, which combines fully with consciousness, you become more present, more here, more now. What does that mean? Being here now. It has many levels, it has many depths. Here now for you might mean what you can relate with, and here now for you is another reality. Here now for you is another reality. So the here and now goes deeper and wider. Yeah, goes deeper and wider at the same time, and closer. So we are on this, we call it a path. It's just because it's a unique time. It's just because it's a unique time. The path is right here. You don't find the path out there. The path is right here, and the path is self-realization through expanding your consciousness, through expanding your heart's capacity, which is part of consciousness itself. So it's an opening of consciousness, an opening of the heart that allows you to become closer and closer to the next higher version of yourself. Knowing and activating your multi-dimensional bodies that are all part of you. multi-dimensional bodies that are all part of you, all aspects of you. How can one see such smallness when all is God's consciousness? So out of this deep conditioning of humanity, believing how small and limited we are, there is a constant self-judgment. A constant self-judgment. And if it's not directed to the self here, it is directed to another. We're constantly judging. Judgment. We're constantly judging if this is good or this is bad, or I like this or I don't like that, or I like her and I don't like her, and there's a constant, and I like this food and I don't like this food. You see, there's a constant, deep, embedded prison within our psyche of constant judgment, which traps humanity in a loop. Just like a hamster, you see. Many times we point our finger and say, oh, poor hamster, she's just spinning on a wheel. And yet we don't realize we're living exactly the same way. You know, so the time now, this unique time right now, is to, yes, reawaken. Whether you want it or not, it's happening. Whether you want to delay it and hold back your old ways, yeah? Or else you have this inner fire to, see your path in here, because the path is in here, and the path is the now. That is the path. So drop any ideas of the path, because the path is in the now, and it's in your heart, always. Always. That's the path. In the heart, always here, will guide you to know your full self, your full heart, your full potential, beyond all of these limitations, all of the smallness that we have believed to be. And somehow we need to be reminded over and over and over and over. Somehow we forget. And the magnetism of what we are familiar with keeps pulling us back to what we are familiar with. And somehow it holds us again. Life hooks us back in some way or another. That magnetism of life hooks us back in. Which is fine, because then you are aware of that hook and you can unhook it. So in this very unique time frame, even time is collapsing. I'm sure you have experienced this already, where the present moment, or let's say maybe the day, your day, can seem very, very long when you're very present in every moment, very deep and vast at the same time. The day can seem that you've done like 3 days of work in it. That is how it expands the day. And sometimes you can also experience that in a flip of a second, the day just like flipped by to the next morning. And you're simply here becoming more aware that even time is losing. It's losing its strength. And the ascension is the awakening of the heart. This is where the feminine, the goddess, is awakening as well. Because just before this time, humanity were functioning only from the lower 3 chakras. The solar plexus, the greed and control. Yeah? The sacral, the desires and all the addictions and obsessions. Just by saying these words, you can see the whole world, how everyone functions. And the lower root, all the insecurities and instabilities, limitation of these 3, you could say impure, but you could say also because they are distorted. They're not functioning from an unlimited way. They're functioning from in it. So it's of course distorted. So what is happening right now? We are working with these lower 3 centers. Majority of the work is happening right here. And with the readiness, humanity is awakening to the heart, opening the heart. And from here, life, the journey begins. Your journey begins when your heart awakens for the first time. You feel that belonging already, that something is here as your own direct experience already. And the heart space starts to expand. It starts to open. The consciousness starts to expand. And you start connecting closer, closer and closer. The path is right here. And it's always here. Because many times we do jump and want to be somewhere in the future. You know, the striving, the searching pulls us out of ourselves. But it's right here. The path is now. Now within your heart. And through that, this moment, here's where you navigate. Sometimes you hit a wall, we call it, but they're veils. Yeah, and another opening, another depth, another sense, a deeper sense of belonging, another deeper opening brings more vastness and more capacity to receive love and give love. So there's always so much. With every opening, there's always so much. Because the wider we are, the more open we are, the more we're able to receive. And then when we receive, what happens? We instantly want to share with others. So all you have to do is take care of yourself. Such a beautiful way of living. And at the same time, you know, you are participating. You are participating, you know, towards this mission. It is a mission. It is a unique lifetime. So let's take a few moments to come back to yourself, to come back to your hearts. You can take a few moments within your inner heart space to fall deeper to the back and to fall and drop, to drop more and more. The surrender to your deeper self. Bring inner softness in your hearts. And allow your heart to feel safe to open. Allow your heart to soften. Allow your heart to drop. Connecting with a deeper love inside you. A deeper joy. A deeper contentment. And drop. Do nothing but drop. Drop into a wider space from behind you. Letting go from inside. Falling. Falling and falling. Becoming comfortable with this practice of dropping and falling with nowhere to land. And allow any tightness to be dissolved in love. Any buts to be dissolved in love. Any excuses. Allow all to dissolve in a deeper heart. Do nothing. Step out of the way. Surrender inside you. Connecting with a deeper sense of belonging. A deeper happiness. A deeper kindness. A deeper compassion. And continue falling. Don't hold what I'm saying. Don't hold on to anything. just fall. Fall from your deepest heart further back and drop. Drop. Just fall. Allow the inner control to lose its strength into a greater love. Into a deeper compassion. Into a deeper dimension. Into a deeper now. Vaster, expanded, ever loving, a deeper bliss, and rest, rest. And just for a moment only, allow your name to drop into this depth of your heart. Allow your personality to fade into this depth of your heart until everything dissolves into a greater heart. Open your hearts to receive.